Hi, welcome to another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Chris Costa.
And I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
Hi, Joanne. What do you want to cover today?
Well, I've heard that you can customize your data grids in Enterprise. Can you show me how to do that?
Absolutely. It's actually pretty simple. Let's go into estimating order entry first. Okay. All of these data grids here that you see that are columnized, every one of them can be manipulated. You can either add columns to them, you can remove columns. Once you have information on screen that you like, you can actually right-click and export the information out into a spreadsheet. So for example, if I reset this, and actually if I sidestep for a second, once you add information, you can also reset back to Enterprise's version of the default by hitting the Reset Default view.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to do that temporarily here, and you'll see it actually took a column or two away. If I right-click again and come down to Options, okay, I've got a couple of choices here. There's Data Export, which will allow you to pull the information out. You could also hit Columns. On the right-hand side, you're going to see the columns that are currently in the window. Okay, so if I move this down, you'll see that these are the columns here. They match up to the columns that the fields here that you see on the right. Okay, it is in order. So if you want one of these to be a little bit further in the list, okay, you can use the up-down arrows.
Okay.
If you want to add a field, you can just scroll through the list. Okay, I'm going to search for a field called current job status. And another little neat trick is if you just hit the first letter that you're looking for, it will bounce down, to that letter. Okay, so current job status, I can highlight it and move it over to the right-hand side. That adds it to the list.
Okay.
Okay, this was a nice field that we added not too long ago. It will actually let you see where the job is in production.
Oh, great. That'll
Okay.
be very helpful.
So if I push that up a little bit and hit OK, you can see now that the field's been added. Okay, so that's sort of how you can manipulate the grids a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, one of the things I'd like to do is I'd like to get a list of all the contacts in my database, not just the default contact on the customer, but all the contacts.
Sure.
Can you show me how I could do that with the data grid?
Absolutely. If we close out of here, that would be done either, and because I have the accounting modules open, I can go into accounts receivable, or you could go into file maintenance and go to standards, customers.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll go into AR in the customer list, and just like we just saw with estimating, when you first come into the list, you can right-click, and I'm right-clicking in the header bar at the top. Any one of the column fields, it doesn't matter. You're going to get these choices here. You can click on Options, and then go to Columns. Now, with what you just asked, the contact name, or it looks like someone may have already added this, so the contact name is already in here with the contact email and contact address 1 and 2.
Okay.
Okay, I believe the default is just to have the default contact.
Yes.
Okay, so someone already pulled that out and manipulated this a little bit. If you want even more information here, like the contact zip, contact state, you can come down here and we'll scroll down a little bit. And again, I'm just hitting C to drop down to the next C. I know the contacts are sort of at the bottom a little bit. Should be pretty close. So there's contact address 3. Maybe we don't need that one. Okay, so here's the city. I can pull that over, the state, and I can pull that over.
Okay.
Okay, and by putting this information in here, if you have multiple contacts for each customer, it will just repeat the customer in the list. As you can see here with Ace Hardware, if I scroll over to the right a little bit, I'll have multiple contacts.
Okay, that's
Okay.
perfect.
Now to export this information, you'd right-click again on the header bar and go to that same Options and just click on Data Export. And this will allow you to provide a file name and then export this as a CSV file right out to, which can be opened up in Excel. And from there, of course, you can manipulate it further and do whatever else is necessary.
Great. Now, if I change the columns on my screen, does it affect anybody else?
No, it's absolutely user-based. So it's by user login. So one user can have it one way. Another user can have it set up a completely other way. And on that same line, if I come back in here, this other screen here, you can manipulate some of this other stuff like the background, the font. This is all by user. So if you want to see, your type, one particular font or another, you
Okay.
can set it up one way for yourself. The size, if you want to increase the size or decrease it. Okay, maximum records to display. You can, have a default of 1,000 records or maximize that, a little bit wider. So,
Great, thank you.
okay. Any other questions or?
No, that's very helpful. Thank you, Chris.
Okay, sure thing. Well, this was another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Chris Costa.
And I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
Please look forward to more to come.